What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your season finale for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now, y'all know normally Love and Hip Hop, their seasons last for 20, 21 episodes, but they had to shut down production because of Corona. And so the episode starts off basically chronicling the whole coronavirus epidemic from when they first had the first cases here in the United States all the way up to Atlanta shutting down, or Georgia, I should say, shutting down. And so they had we start this episode off. We have Akbar talking to Sierra. They sort of recapping some things, talking about what happened at the birthday party, and Sierra expresses the fact that maybe she might want to get back with her baby daddy. She misses her family. She misses having a family unit, and that maybe she want to get back with Shooter because, you know, BK has disappointed her for the last time. Blah, 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 blah. Child, we know that ain't true. Akbar is giving her the girl child look. And then they talk about Spice has this event coming up. She's launching her new Faces and Laces line. Looks kind of interesting. The thing is this, it's interesting concepts. Now that I'm starting to get a little more into makeup, y'all see a little bit more into makeup. It's an interesting concept. Like the brushes look like a microphone, and the palette is like a piano. It's cute. It's a cute concept to go along with the fact that she's a musician and stuff. I don't know if she's been able to fully launch it because of everything shutting down with the coronavirus. But anyway, so then we have Keisha. She's back. And she's explaining to her man about what happened and all this other stuff. She's sitting there in a full wig cap, waiting for her hairdresser to get there to put her wig on to do her install. And basically they talking about the whole thing with her and Akbar, and he's telling her, look, I really don't like it. I don't like the whole fighting back and forth. That's not a good look for you. I don't want you out here in these streets acting a fool. And she was like, look, I ain't trying to do that either, but if she run up on me, I'm just gonna have to handle it. I'm just gonna have to do what I gotta do. So then we get to Spice's event. And all the ladies are there. So we have Kiyomi meeting up with Alexis for the first time. And immediately Kiyomi, you know, they meet each other, they hug, and then immediately Kiyomi starts talking about, yeah, because, you know, I'm cool with Fetty, da 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 da. And Alexis is like, why are you dropping the name of my baby daddy? Now listen, I done heard conflicting stories about whether that's really the father, but I don't know. I don't care, child. But Kiyomi, why are you dropping? Like, what is the purpose of, like, it'd be one thing if they were still together, whatever, but you know that that's drama there. You know that that's a whole situation. So immediately you meet this chick for the first time, and immediately the first thing out your mouth is, yeah, Fetty this and Fetty that. And then she's like, yeah, you know, we used to talk. Yeah, we used to date. Again, I don't know if I'll be bragging about all these different men I done messed around with. Like, we already know you was with Bow Wow. Now you with Shooter in some open relationship. Like, why you keep adding to your list? Like, none of us needed to know that you had a history with Fetty. Like, we didn't. I mean, none of us care, and we certainly didn't need to know. So then, so now Alexis is on defense. Then Carly starts talking about Alexis's story about being sex trafficked and basically questioning the validity of her story. So then Alexis gets upset about that, talking about that's something that's very sensitive to her. She don't have no reason to lie. And she was like, well, Mo said he met you when you was 16, but when you said that you was being sex trafficked when you was 16, but he's saying basically Mo's version of the story is that she was just out there hoeing around. Like, she wasn't being sex trafficked, she was just a hoe. And I don't know nothing about this girl's story, whether it's true or not. But I did also hear that there's a woman in Atlanta that's accusing Alexis Scott of stealing her story. She said she wrote her own, she wrote her book, and somehow or another her path crossed with Alexis Scott's path. And she told Alexis her story, and she said that when Alexis told her story a couple of episodes ago, she said that was her story. Now, the reality is, could there be women who have both been sex trafficked whose stories are very similar? Absolutely. Is that the case? Don't know. But this ain't the first person that has questioned Alexis. I'm just saying, you know, we know that Carly ain't no pillar of truth, but I'm just saying that this isn't the first person that has accused Alexis' story of being maybe not so accurate. Okay? But then, you know, Mimi was like, come on, Carly, like, that's messed up. Like, you shouldn't question this woman's story. And I agree. again, that's why I didn't do it. That's why I didn't talk about it in videos. That's why I didn't do a whole report on it, because I don't know. And I'm not going to question this woman's story, but because it came up on the show, I'm just going to throw it in here as part of my review. But again, I don't know. We got Akbar V there, and Shekinah shows up. And we already know that they have a history. Now, at the end of the day, Shekinah wasn't bothering Akbar. Akbar was the one that started talking to Shekinah. She was the one that started throwing little jabs at Shekinah. And Shekinah was like, basically, look, because Carly tried to introduce them like they ain't know each other. And I thought that was silly from Carly's part, because I'm like, Carly, you know they know each other, and you know they got beef. Like, just let the sleeping dogs lie. Like, they weren't bothering each other. They were just there coexisting. Leave it alone. So the minute she tried to introduce them like they didn't know each other, then of course now they get to rhyme at each other. And next thing you know, Akbar done threw a drink on Shekinah. So of course security comes in, and what I found interesting was that Shekinah was the one that got thrown out. Now personally, I think Shekinah got thrown out because security probably was like, the lesser of two evils. We can get Shekinah ass out of here a whole lot easier and faster than we can get Akbar V big ass up out of here. And my thing is, because I don't understand how Shekinah got punished and Akbar got to stay when she was the one that started it. Like, she started the situation. She threw the drink. So I feel like that was kind of messed up on the part of security. And so now Spice is pissed. Spice is like, look, Akbar, when I invited you, I asked you if you could be in the space and not cause problems and not be an issue. This is a professional event for me. I have my fans here. I'm getting ready to do a performance. Like, I don't need this bullshit. And Akbar was like, I'm sorry. But she was just trying me. See, again, unless somebody put their hands on you, you're going to always be wrong. I don't care. Shekinah could have said 500 things, which she really wasn't saying that much. But even if she was running her mouth and doing all this extra, at the end of the day, she didn't put her hands on you. She didn't throw no drink on you. She ain't spit on you. She didn't do anything in your direction. She was just running her mouth, which Shekinah is going to always do. Shekinah going to run her mouth. She going to keep running her mouth. She going to always run her mouth. That is what she does. And I just felt like that was really messed up from the part of view of, you started, and now you want to act like, play victim, like Shekinah really did something to you. So while this is going on, Shekinah is outside pissed off, mad, trying to calm down. Tokyo and light skin Keisha roll up. So of course they show up, they go inside, and they already on 10, because they know Shekinah done told them what happened, and they roll up in the place on 10. But when they came up in there, Spice was performing, so they immediately start dancing, they twerking and all this other stuff. And again, next thing you know, Tokyo and light skin Keisha are really just minding their business. They not bothering nobody. They not saying nothing. Next thing you know, Akbar swings on her. And again, here comes security, pulling them out the room, they got, once again, who gets put out? Keisha and Tokyo. I'm still not understanding why the people who were being assaulted are the ones that have to leave and Akbar gets to stay inside. Again, I really think it's because they were like, it's a whole lot. Well, I don't know, but somehow or another, that's who ended up leaving. I don't know. But the fact that now we have Shekinah, Tokyo, and Keisha outside, but Akbar is still inside, and she's the one that started it with all three of them. Maybe not Tokyo so much, but Tokyo was just defending her girl. So then Spice is pissed off. And Spice, again, she gets to yelling at Akbar and was like, listen, you're messing up my event. I asked you if you could do this. I asked you if you could be professional and not cause no problems. And here you are again with this bullshit. So then Spice starts swinging on Akbar and was like, why you always got to start a fight? So then she swings on Akbar. I said, what in the child? So then they break the whole thing up. Spice is packing her stuff up. She inside. Her and Carly and Mimi inside pissed off. And she packing up her stuff. They just shut down the event. They trying to get Akbar. They said it took 20 security guards to get Akbar out of there. Now, I don't know if that's true or an exaggeration. But I'm starting to think it was probably on the closer to the true side. They're trying to get Akbar out of there so that because they know that the girls are out front waiting for her. So they're trying to get her out the back of the building. They see the car that Akbar is in rolling by, because I guess she was in Alexis's car. Baby, they get in the car and take after them. Next thing you know, the cameras are moving around. The cameras go black. Next thing you know, we see Akbar and Alexis and Keisha Tokyo trying to get to them. The security got Tokyo, but they get to tussle. Keisha and wig done came off. Akbar. It was a mess. It was a whole mess. And Akbar, you started that shit for no reason. People can say whatever they want to say until they put their hands on you. You wrong if you put your hands on them. It was just a whole hot damn mess. Okay, just a hot butted mess. So that was that. And again, this wasn't supposed to be the finale. So I'm pretty certain that the rest of that was going to flesh itself out. They was going to probably have some sit downs and some forced conversations and all that other bullshit that they do throughout the course of a season until we get to the reunion where they could fight again all over, fight all over again, child. So Kiyomi was talking about how, she was trying to get her mind off a shooter and she found herself in the middle of this bullshit with a bunch of women she don't even know like that. I feel you on that one, Kiyomi, but let me be honest. Let me tell you something. The next scene we see is Frost, Kirk, Shooter, and Scrap. They were helping him sanitize the restaurant. He was like, the kid, the family's at home, but we got to stay open as long as we can. So we here sanitizing the restaurant. My boys came through to help me out. So they supposed to be having these conversations, right? And it's funny how you fast forward and you see stuff and you cringe at certain things that you wouldn't do now. Like, Scrap had Braylon out. And I'm like, oh, gosh, no. Like, now I'm sure he wouldn't have the baby out around anything potential. You know what I mean? Anyway, nobody had on masks. That kind of crazy stuff that we know now today is just the norm. So they're talking, and Shooter is saying in his confessional how, in light of that whole situation with, Scrap and him not knowing whether Kiyomi messed with Scrap and the situation with Cheyenne and her, like, he said in light of all of that, he just kicked both of them to the curb. And as far as he's concerned, he ain't messing with either one of them no more. He was like, yeah, I just got to take the L on that one. Take the L on what? What? Like, they the ones that should be taking the L, that they were even dumb enough to get involved with your little simple ass to begin with. So I guess this storyline was supposed to evolve into Shooter and Sierra flirting again. Because Sierra, according to Sierra, he talks to her all the time about how he misses her and he want to get back with her. So child, whatever, child. Next thing you know, here come production, honey. Production is shutting them down, talking about they got to shut down production. Kirk talking about something. Well, how are we supposed to live? The same way the rest of our asses is living. Then you had production. They had people doing green screens, and they had to do the same thing. They went over there, and they were shutting down production on the green screens, and it was a mess. So anyway, that was the end of the episode. That was the end of the episode. That's the end of the season. I'm sure that, with Georgia being back open, they might start filming again when people feel comfortable. Like, I don't know when they're going to feel comfortable or not. But they may start filming again. But as of right now, that is it. That is all. That is where we are, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.